Let there be light. Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. In the previous episode, stay lit, damn it. Finicky torches. In the previous episode, we set foot in the Dancing Dragon Dungeon, making it halfway through, culminating in a fight against a mini-boss that was basically an Aghanim ripoff. In this episode, we're going to be taking down the second half of the dungeon and seeing if maybe we can get just a little done after that if we're fast enough. So we're going to start things off by heading off to this room to the east and checking out another one of these old men who give advice. What does he say? What you seek is in the eye. Well, I guess it's better advice than something like 10th enemy has the bomb or whatnot. So we'll have to keep that advice in mind for a little later on. Southward to the main part of the dungeon. Bunch of stall throws. So we see a blade trap blocking a narrow pathway here. What's on the other end? A switch we can't hit. Although I imagine with a absolutely perfectly timed bomb you might be able to hit it. Or actually you could probably boomerang it, couldn't you? But that's beside the point. We do want to head off to the east here for the time being. Through here we see more switches. Boomerang's not going to be able to hit all of them in time. Might not even be able to reach him. So we're going to be heading southward now. That is a Beamos. You remember these things. You've seen them in previous Zelda games undoubtedly, or possibly the modern ones. Spin around in a circle, shoot lasers when they see you. Rock's Feather gets you over the lasers, although I'm kind of surprised the laser itself is probably because there's all these different other things on screen actually. 8-bit limitations and such. So we got gold Stalfos here, make them jump once. They can't dodge again when they've landed. Or you can always back them into a corner, or stab them. Okay, see that one did throw a bone. Okay, see I don't know why that one in that first gold Stalfos we saw earlier in the dungeon didn't, but that one did. Anyway, we got another door to open here. Mind the Beamos. All right, you want to have your you want to have your Pegasus Siege ready here. Take out any keys that get too close just to give yourself a head start, because once you push this statue onto the switch, you want to book it because the floor is going to start collapsing. You want to get just far enough to reach the other end here to the chest containing, you got the slingshot. Choose your seeds and take aim. Kind of a unusual little dungeon item, this dinky little slingshot here, but it'll come in use. You see, you use your mystical seeds as ammo. And each seed does something different depending on if you just throw it onto the ground from your satchel or fire it with your slingshot. The Ember Seeds, first of all, are one of the only types of seeds that do the exact same thing that they do normally. They just set stuff on fire. Although the same limitations apply, whether something actually is actually vulnerable to the Ember Seed fire or not, or whether it just dies instantly from it. It just depends on a case-by-case basis. There are several types of enemies that are straight up immune to it. But anyway, next would be... Actually, let's just wait until we get into some combat to show that, shall we? Each type of seed is useful for striking objects from a distance and hitting switches, although we don't want to head off to the west just yet. We want to continue further eastward. Each of these can hit objects such as switches from a distance, as you see here. We're going to check out what's down here first of all. Get out of the way. Whole load of nothing down here. So, set seeds as... couldn't quite reach that keys that time. See if we can hit them this time. I'm going to check out what's in that third alcove in the meantime. So we can nail this keys. Line them up. Oh wait, that was the other... Thought there were 4 paths for some reason. I must be thinking of a dungeon a little later on. Anyway, scent seeds actually deal direct damage. Unlike just luring them toward you like they do normally, they're actually your primary damage dealers when fired from a slingshot, and they generally hurt pretty much every enemy out there. Here's where things get a little complicated though. You see, Pegasus Seeds, though they normally make you fast, freeze enemies in place. That's going to be helpful against more erratically moving enemies or enemies that you want to be able to get up close to and hit without having to worry about them counterattacking. Gale Seeds, meanwhile, also do the same thing that they do normally, just like with Ember Seeds, except they're targeting something completely different this time. Catch an enemy with a Gale Seed and they'll get sent flying to parts unknown. Thing is, though, just like with Ember Seeds, there are several types of enemies that Gale Seeds cannot affect. Finally, mystery seeds. Come on. Mystery seeds have a random effect of any of the other 4 seed types. So it's just very much a mixed bag. Use it if you're feeling like having some fun, I guess. See, Ember Seed that time. Ooh, fairy. Too bad I didn't need that whatsoever. So to make getting across this gap easier, we're gonna use the Pegasus Seed Rocks Feather combo. Very careful here, though. You can, in fact, you can barely cross gaps of 2 without Pegasus Seeds, but you have to be very spot on with your timing. And so now we're going to open this lock block, and, well, if you made it this far without realizing that you can go through most of this dungeon while having 2 keys in possession, you'll have to go all the way back trying to find the one you missed. In fact, there is another one you can get right now that you can now get now that you have the slingshot, so maybe this problem might not become a problem until just a little later. I'll bring it up then. It's one thing that kind of causes me to question how they designed how they give you the keys in this dungeon. Careful here. There we go. Careful. There we go. Push him into the water. Remember what the old man said, right? What you seek is in the eye. So this does look vaguely like a giant face, so if we dive in the eye, the other eye, there's the boss key! And now we have that. So there's only a couple more things we can do. We can take that path off to the left from the junction room over there. But first of all, we want to do something about that chest that we saw on the map. So we're going to be heading back to the mini-boss room real fast. And now we're going to be heading points north. Well, just barely north because... Remember that... Whoa, that was a bad jump, and I can't believe I corrected myself so easily there. If you remember... Careful. If you remember... There were those torches we saw earlier here that we couldn't reach. Now, we can. Oh, and, if you, whoop, I forgot that was a scrub. So, time is just right. Bam. And a chest appears over there, right exactly where we thought it would. Then we just have to head back around. By the way, if you warped back around to the entrance of the dungeon and came back around the other way to the side the minecart wasn't on, I feel so bad for you. But since that didn't happen to us, we're just gonna head over this way. And the chest is ours, containing... You probably know what this one's gonna have. Another key. So if we hadn't headed off to the east first, we would have ended up with 2 keys all over again. So let's head over here. Careful, mind the bubbles. So now we want to be able to reach this switch over here, although, as previously mentioned, you can just boomerang it. So you could cheese your way over to this section before you get the slingshot if you're sneaky, but you won't be able to go too much further without it. Going off to this room to the west. Here we have red whiz robes. They're kind of similar to the green ones, but they can appear and disappear in different places each time. And they do like to kind of flank you, so keep that in mind. Although apparently, even though they can kind of float and teleport, you can still hit them down holes. I'm not exactly sure how that works. There we go, like that guy there. And the pathway's open, but first let's see if we can find something useful in these pots here. Recovery heart or 2 maybe? See, there's 1 heart, there's... Come on. On those, maybe in... No, there's no second set of pots. I thought there were a few down there, but apparently not. Okay, you want to have Rock's Feather handy here. We got another Beamos in close quarters. If all else fails, try and move in the direction the Beamos is rotating so that you'll be able to get out of the way quickly. And here is that elusive other lock block. So, if you had gotten this far and say, hadn't been able to reach one of the keys in one of the rooms where a key just kind of falls down from the ceiling, If you had, sorry about there, folks, there was a bit of a audio hiccup. If you had not thought to just dive for the key in the one room where the key falls into the water on the second floor, or if you couldn't figure out how to activate all the switches at the same time in that room with all the pots and switches, you would have no idea where you missed a key, and you'd be stuck going all the way around wondering, why the hell did I miss one? Especially if you hadn't realized that the compass doesn't tell you where the location is of keys that don't show up in chests. You'd just be stumbling around trying to explore every room, hoping that the little, there's an item in here fanfare goes off. And it'd be even worse if you hadn't found the compass yet. But, well, regardless, it is what it is. We've made it here so far. Let's head down to the basement. What do you have to say, Owl Statue? Let's use our fancy new slingshot to hit him from a distance. A guarded body watches with an unguarded eye, or unguarded eyes plural. Let's stay here and wait for the Wizrobes. Jumped the gun there a little, I did. Wait for it. There, got one, didn't get the other. Careful, these bubbles will send your sword off. I am having the hardest time killing this thing. Let's not get fancy, just kill the thing. There we go. Take out the bubbles now. Take out wrong button. I'm just batting 1,000 right now, aren't I? Anything useful in here? There's a heart. Probably ember seeds in, I guess not. Like I said, I don't really need to give you ember seeds because you can just use any type of seed to hit. No, you don't have to. Okay, there's torches you have to light. One here. There we go. This is the point where you need the slingshot to progress. Bunch of enemies in here. Let's use our ember seeds to take out the Stalfos effortlessly. Oh, good. No, see, these Wizrobes are actually immune to, they're immune to fire. It goes off on them, but they don't take any damage from it. Maybe it's because they're red Wizrobes. I don't know. But regardless, that wasn't too hard. Check these pots for a pick-me-up. 1 at 2. Wow, that was easy. Heading onward, we got one last room before the boss, right? Yes. So this platform is going to move in a figure 8 formation at rapid speed. Keep an eye out for these keys. So all you can see over this gap are their eyes. But if you're clever, you can throw a boomerang right as you leave and it'll just follow you the rest of the way. Gives you some coverage. And you can still swing your sword in the meantime. And there you have it. Get yourself ready, folks. For this first phase of the fight, you actually aren't going to want the slingshot. You're going to want to have some Pegasus seeds on hand along with your sword. Actually, let's see if we can... No, we can't grab that rupee. Okay, it was worth a shot. So now brace yourselves because we're going to be fighting another familiar foe. Meet. Careful. Does this feel familiar to anyone who's played Ocarina of Time? Meet Goma. There have been several instances of Gomas in various Zelda games. This one seems to be some kind of crab creature. But whatever they are, they're always some kind of arachnid or related to an arachnid. You know, because crustaceans are just somewhat related to spiders. Anyway, tangent aside, they also got one huge eye that is a very, very obvious weak point. This one, however, has a rather unusual form of attack. In addition, it's trying to ram you with her very, very fast lateral movement. She can attempt to grab you with her claw, and if she does, she'll pound you into the ground for a full total of a heart and a half worth of damage. That is the most we've seen so far outside of that little optional section with the Lynels. And unlike them, since her thing is a command grab, you can't get out of it once you get hit by it. Like so. The good news is, you're not completely helpless to it. You can use Pegasus seeds to be faster than her and stay safely out of range. Try not to use spin attacks here unless she's just attacked because there will be some startup. Okay, now we're on to the second phase of the fight where it's basically just like a traditional Goma fight. Trying to get her to move northward. Her only form of attack in this phase of the fight is to give birth to larvae in the middle of the fight. Come on, lady, there could be children watching here. So just take aim when her eye is open. She only has it open every now and then. The fact that she can move pretty freely even when... Oh boy, I'm running low on health. Even when her eyes closed raises the question of why she opens it at all. If you're fast, you can actually hit her when she's birthing this Goma larvae. They do drop pickups for you. Fortunate. What a tease. Open her eye for a split second. Ooh. Come on. And that's it. Wow. Took fewer hits than I thought you would. Then there's our heart container, granting us a second row of hearts. As you can see, it maxes out at 14 for a basic non-linked game. And here is the Soothing Rain, an essence of nature. Bathe in drops of soothing rain, shoots grow into saplings. Oh, Link. I too grow in might under the soothing rain. I had another vision just now. I saw a lake shaped like eyeglasses. A lake shaped like eyeglasses, huh? I think we've heard of something like that before. So now we know where the next essence of nature is, but we are going to need to do just a little more before we head over there. Although there actually is a lot more that opens up now that we can summon spring. And as well, we have one little secret to be found here. You see, although it's actually a little more obvious when you have it in summer. That is not summer. Wait a minute, I was in summer! What am I... Anyway, the treasure map sparkles in this little screen, so there's something hidden here. And so, if you head to the very corner of this area and dive, you'll find another little underwater section. Alright. Any cheeps? I thought there might have been. And at the end of this is the Pyramid Jewel. And since Link's underwater, he doesn't do the item get pose. So, that is another one of those jewels that go along with the square one we found earlier. That's gotta mean something, right? And apparently, the treasure map tells us where all they are. All of they are. Nice English! But, so we have two more to grab, and we can't quite get them yet. So we'll have to keep those in mind. Although, in a linked game, you actually won't find the Pyramid Jewel here. You'll just find a gacha seed instead, and the treasure map will change accordingly. You'll actually find the Pyramid Jewel in that game inside the Sunken Falls. You know, that area next to the Woods of Winter, underneath Sunken City. You know, that chest in there where we found some, I believe that was a gacha seed. Right? I think so. In a linked game, that's where the Pyramid Jewel will be, although a minion of Onox will grab it as soon as you get there and drop it onto the upper part of the cave that you can only reach by diving from that one spot in Sunken City. So it's kind of a little convoluted little thing that makes the linked game just a little different in that regard. So anyway, we want to start off just a couple things we want to take care of here in this episode by jumping down from this cliff. Because right there is that heart piece we were seeing before. And there is one more thing I want to take care of now that we're in the area at the moment and it's spring. You see, there's something I kind of missed a couple episodes ago, just walked right by. Oh, hey, there's a business scrub where Moosh was. Much nicer riders inside eyesore of a barrel left. I can now do business in peace. Now then, buy something. Okay, you just sell shields for inordinately high prices. Screw you, buddy. I liked it better when Moosh was sitting on where you, sitting on your plot of land. Anyway, we head back up here with help of the Flying Rooster. You see that cave entrance right there, right? Well, I kind of, walked right by it the first time we were here. And here's an interesting little... Yeah, I jumped the gun. Had a feeling that would happen. So here we have an interesting little thing with a platform that goes in a circle. Use that trick again. Although we kind of wanted to, that didn't go very well. We want to start by landing here and... Let's get Rock's feather out. Make it a little easier to... And then I press the wrong button and fall again. Just another one of those days, isn't it? Alright, jump, land on the switch, which makes a ring fall from the ceiling of all things. So now, we want to be very careful here, use some fancy footwork to that's not fancy footwork. Keep an eye out for this keys. And jump to the ring! I believe that is a very specific ring, which we will see in a little while. We got a couple more, one more thing to do on the mountains here, now that we're here at the... That just about caps it off, doesn't it? So, you know how I mentioned that one very, very special gacha soil plot? Well, now that we've finished the dungeon and undoubtedly killed a bunch of enemies, we want to check by that real fast, as well as check out the Gacha soil spot next to it. See you in just a second. Actually, yeah, I had a feeling this would happen. I had a feeling, you know, since we killed so many enemies, Maple was probably going to show up in one of those screens where she did before. So let's get our Pegasus seeds at the ready. And... oh, man! Oh, my God! It actually showed up! This is the ultimate prize that she can drop sometimes. A piece of a heart! But due to her location, it's going to be very, very, very hard to grab it before she does. Oh, boy. Can we get it? Nope, not quite. I had a feeling. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? So somehow, we're going to have to be lucky enough to have her drop it again before the end of this playthrough. Little fun fact, in my test run I did a couple months ago, she didn't drop it once the entire time. So we got our work cut out for us here. Thanks, luck. So anyway, we're gonna head through the spot where they should have put an ember tree. Through here, which forces us to pick up our power bracelet. And down here, Gorons, you're never gonna believe what I just lost a minute ago. Through here to the foothills of the mountain. Off to the right. Just a second, let's get the power bracelet ready. Over here. And it turns out, because of how that works, I didn't need it after all. Well, actually, I'm going to need it in just a minute anyway. There's a ring in here. It's getting kind of redundant at this point. No, getting kind of predictable at this point. That's the word I'm looking for. But a ring is one of the better prizes you can get, especially from a common soul spot. So, moment of truth. Let's head over to our special spot. Hopefully something good is here. Check out this lever. And miss the recovery heart. Alright. A Gacha nut. What's inside? A ring. Okay. Predictable again, but that's going to be a good ring. Let's plant another Gacha seed here. And so, as we head down to the Natsu Prairie, and, well, I could have planned this better, couldn't I? Better idea. Let's head back to the village as we wrap things up here. So, we got quite a bit done in this episode. Finished the Dancing Dragon Dungeon, taking down a very familiar enemy, and obtaining a brand new slingshot. Then, wait a minute, it's winter. Why aren't the seeds here? Anyway. So, we got a lot done. Finished the 4th dungeon, obtained a new Essence of Nature. The, Soothing Rain there. And grabbed a new heart piece, a new ring, 3 new rings, 4 new rings actually, but not the second heart piece. Ugh. So in the next episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, we're going to be taking care of all manner of things we can do now that we have Spring the Flippers and etc. See you guys then.